that I am a kind of an odd man out in this crowd, because probably I am the only non-scientist, a bureaucrat, but who, coming from a humanities background, but had an opportunity to work closely with Professor Ashutosh Sharma as Additional Secretary and Financial Advisor dealing with the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Department of Biotechnology. So, my perspective is on policy. So today the theme of this conference is TRIPS, Technology, Research, Innovation and Policy. So I come from the policy space, and being a generalist from the Indian Administrative Service, my career has traversed across several departments, ministries, probably about 21 departments, both from the center and the state. And now I have eased into a quasi-judicial position, where I am adjudicating the service matters of nearly 50 lakh central government employees and an equal number of pensioners in the central government. And I do come across a lot of science bureaucrats from CSIR and various autonomous institutions of the DSE having problems related to their service. And so my perspective is based on my experience as IIS. I have a PowerPoint presentation, but that is largely to say that I have taken this seriously and I prepared something to set the context and show how public policy can aid in helping the startup ecosystem which is going on in the country. So I don't need to tell you, most of you already know that India has a tradition in science and technology. We have contributed a lot in mathematics, in astronomy, in medicine, and somehow due to the dark ages in between, before we became independent, our indigenous knowledges and the community knowledge was suppressed and we could not do much. But this is an opportunity today, cut to the present, that we are living in a very, very, very vibrant time. So I had a next slide that it is there, largely to say how there has been a burgeoning number of startups in the ecosystem, and we have so many unicorns. All the statistics is over there. Now, what we need to do is that, from my own experience, is that the science and the policy will have to be integrated. If we feel that everybody is working in isolation, in silos, then we will not develop as a country. And somehow there is this feeling that we are getting into a different world altogether. My experience when I was posted in the science and technology, one of the bureaucrats was telling me that we are going to a world which is totally different. The first thing that you need to do is to tame the scientists. So that is the kind of a feeling that that you need to tame the scientists, what it is. Basically, you have to say no to their request and then to show that I know more than you. So this kind of a concept has been a stumbling block when it comes to spending money. Whatever you may have, we used to have those days the Science and Engineering Research Board. Now I am told that it has been subsumed under the Anushandhan Research Foundation. The numbers will look very, very impressive. 20,000 crores and this and that and what have you. But the people who are responsible for releasing the funds, if they are going to sit on it and ensure that I am sitting on so much of money as if it is my personal money and I am keeping it in my pocket, then I don't think that all this innovation and research system and all this is going to flourish. That feeling that somebody else is coming from a different world, I come from a different world, he is equally a patriot as I am a patriot. If he has contributed so much to his field, then it is for me. Even if I cannot help him, I should not hinder in whatever work he is doing. So this is something which I have learned in my short stint in the DSIT. So I have a lot of things which I cannot compress in those 10 minutes and tell you. But we need to talk about the policy evolution, as I was just telling you. Earlier we had all those iron pillar, Qutub Minar and Shushruta and the surgery whenever anybody's nose was cut. That was the punishment given by the Maharaja those days. He had a surgeon to fix it up and all that. And then when India became independent, even in our constitution we said that we should have spirit of inquiry and scientific temper will have to be inculcated among the citizens as part of a fundamental duty in the Constitution. And that was followed with your science policy initially, and then the technology policy statement in '83. One combining both in 2003 and having a science and technology policy in 2003. And in 2013, the innovation also was tagged into that. And then in 2020, after the national education policy, you have this sort of a draft science education policy. And under that umbrella, at the center, you have the Prime Minister himself who is responsible for the science-related activities. He is mandated by a minister. And there are a plethora of departments under the Department of Science and Ministry of Science and Technology, and your Ministry of Earth Sciences. And there are other departments like Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and all that. But in today's context, we are conscious of the fact that the time is going. So, only thing is that as far as the startup ecosystem is concerned, we ourselves in our country, in India, we have a wealth of data which we have generated. We are a nation of more than 1.4 billion, so we are sitting on a data mine. And how do we ensure that the sanctity of the data remains and rooted in our own culture, and we are able to leave away all those Western influences and prejudices in data interpretation is something, so that we have our data sovereignty. Our data should not be used by someone else sitting in some other part of the planet and then for their own purposes is a challenge. And number two, when it comes to even the startup ecosystem, how do we ensure that there is minimal regulation from the government? And if you look at an IIT, we have done so much in IIT, probably because the government has stayed away from regulating IIT. The IIT has taken off on its own without any regulation from the government, and therefore now we have created so much of wealth in IIT. Same thing will have to happen in startup ecosystem also, but then there must be some kind of a self-regulation on the part of the entrepreneurs. You should not be really running after mammon. I say that if you have to run after Saraswati, then automatically Lakshmi will start following you. You start running after Lakshmi, then you might look at shortcuts here and there and get into trouble. Then we saw all those tech companies and all that, and suddenly there was not much of self-regulation, so therefore it was a bad name for startup companies. So that is where you must ensure that you have your own self-regulation, so government's interference is very, very minimal. And today, there's a lot of opportunity, especially in deep tech. We're talking about all those things like electric vehicle, lithium battery storage, green hydrogen. You have all autonomous driven vehicles, space technology, AI. All those things are not going, and the youngsters who are here, the next generation, the opportunities are enormous compared to what it was about 30 years back, and we were all studying in college. So I was sitting with some people who are already into this startup ecosystem, and it is for government to listen to them and then be proactive and do whatever is the pain points and eliminate those pain points. That is the what the government should do. Even if they don't want to help you, they should not hinder you. That is what automatically we have energy. We have energy in India. 1.4 billion people, all of them, the kind of energy that we have should not be stymied by the governmental authorities. There is an opportunity for kind of a global innovation today. So this kind of a milieu is what we all are working in now. So I don't want to stand between you and the next speaker because there are a lot of scientists here. So this is the perspective I just wanted to give you from the policy side, from the government side. Thank you. Thank you for that.